Hey, happy Thursday to you guys. It's your girl Vocal with AJ Reese, and I'm coming to you on this Thursday. Feeling good Thursday. Listen, we triumphant. We are definitely triumphant in all that we do. Listen, we put our best foot forward. God is definitely going to do the rest. So, we talked about on Tuesday the toxic relationships and the flags that come with those things. The flags that come with those things. So, I left off at 4, red flag number 4. I want to go into red flag number 5. I did 3 and 4 last time, so I want to talk about 5. Definitely want to talk about 5. Okay. So, substance abuse. Substance abuse, red flag number 5. Why is substance abuse a red flag? We do know that whenever a person is using narcotic substances as a coping mechanism to hide whatever they have going on, it alters neurologically, it alters your behavior. It does. Your way of thinking, your mindset. It does. It really does. Don't believe me? Go look it up for yourself. Go research it for yourself. Don't take Vocal with AJ Reese's word for it. Go look it up yourself. So you know me. Substance abuse is a clear red flag. Yes, it is. It indicates that a person struggles with impulse control and self-destructive habits. That is the honest to God truth. I'm going to give you a for instance. They like, here she go again. Yup, here I go again. My mother's husband would do drugs. He would do drugs. And every time he did, it altered his behavior. He became extremely wild and enraged, eyes big and bugged, and just start misbehaving. Now, on a natural day of being sober, he was already a piece of work. So imagine, you don't think that send people through PTSD? Looking at that stuff, I'm going to give y'all another for instance. It's still based around him. It was a Sunday morning, and I'm going to tell you how far back this goes. I didn't even have kids. I was a teenager. It was a Sunday morning. I was asleep. I was startled out of my sleep. I hear this yelling, this cussing, this throwing stuff. All of this just behavior that was just full of rage and just very irate. I jump up out the bed because in my head I'm like, oh Lord, he in there beating her up again or whatever. I go to the door. I open my bedroom door and I look. He got a gun to his head. He's threatening to kill himself. He's going to blow his brains out. He's going to kill everybody in the house. Why? All because he was fiending to do some cocaine. And he told her, who was my mother, that if she did not give him this money, he was going to blow his head off. And I'll never forget, it was a silver hand revolver. It was a silver revolver. It wasn't a real big revolver, but it was a small to medium-sized revolver. Now, isn't that something? I was a teenager. I am 49 years of age, and I still remember that. So when people try to play stupid as if they don't understand or they don't remember, I didn't do that. Use a lie and the truth ain't in you, and that's tell you, say your breath stink. Yeah. That's it. So back to, that is a red flag. And there were a lot of times that he would use those drugs. And if my mom was at work, because she worked a 3 to 11 shift, he would use that as his time to go sexually molest me or my sister. So when I talk about that's a red flag, but see, my mother knew this. She knew. She knew our husband was on drugs. She knew all of this. But that's back to turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to foul, bad behaviors. Remember we talked about that low self-esteem? Because see, when you have self-esteem, you don't have to tell people you have it. They will know you possess it. By what? The lifestyle that you live. The people that you circle yourself around. You encamp yourself around positive people who are successful and they going places. People know. When you are doing the total opposite, people know that too. So, again, it brings forth self-destructive habits. Depending on the substance, any relationship can turn toxic if addiction is present. And that's what it was. He was he was an addict. He was a drug addict. And guess what? Still worked a full-time job and was an addict. But he'll lie and tell people, oh, I ain't never do no drugs. I've never done that. I wouldn't even touch them. And I'm saying to myself, you just as delusional as you want to be because, sir, you the main one who was doing a whole lot of different drugs. So, again, pay attention to those red flags, ladies. Men, pay attention to those red flags. Pay attention to it. Substance abuse is an illness, and your loved ones might need help. If you or someone you know who is struggling, there are a lot of different places that you can reach out to make sure that they get the help that they need. But the disclaimer to that is they got to want it. Nobody's here to force you. Nobody's here to make you. You want it, you'll be willing to go get it. If not, you won't. And it's just that simple. And I'm not saying it like we give up on them, we don't love people or whatever, but I'm saying they have to make that decision for themselves. They have to make a life-changing decision for themselves. Why? Because we did not get them to that place. They did. So it is their job. You can love them. You can encourage them. You can pray for them. But guess what? At the end, it has to be them that want it. It has to be. So here comes the sixth red flag. This one is a good one. It's a good one, baby. It's a good one. Narcissism. Woo-wee. Narcissism, baby. Whew. That's a good one, and it's a big one. Why? Because we see it all the time in people's behavior. Let me read this. Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental condition that indicates self-obsession, a misplaced sense of importance. It can come across as delusions of grandeur, although not in a clinical sense. They are not experiencing a break with reality, although it might feel that way to the people close to them. Narcissists believe that the world revolves around them. And if anybody threatens this belief, turmoil and chaos definitely follows. Let me tell you something. More people than we know have narcissistic tendencies, or just full-blown narcissists, bottom line. When you don't own your stuff, and that's the bottom line, you've got to own it. You can sit and lie to yourself all day long, but you are not lying to the people that know you and see you, and you're not lying to God. In fact, it's a slap in God's face, the fact that you want to come in his presence and even think you're going to start acting like you want to lie. If I was you, you better off just going in the closet and lying and talking to yourself, because it's no need. Don't go to God disrespecting him like that. It doesn't make sense. And the bottom line is, you have to go back and start to trace the origin of that thing. When did it start? Where did it come from? What took place in my life that I felt like this was the easy route to go? And I'm going to tell you something. And again, back to what I said, we got to own our stuff. Sometimes we're the very reasons that they are narcissists. Because we continue to tolerate the stuff that they do, and we don't spend enough time calling them out on their stuff. I've never, man, laughing because you gotta laugh. If not, you'll be screaming and yelling and crying somewhere, and that I'm not doing. So, I've never seen. No, I'm lying. I've seen a whole lot. And it's a very scary thing to keep seeing stuff like this. But when you keep coming across people that you know or related to. And they deal with this, but they don't believe it's them, it's everybody else. It really, really gets me of how every situation and circumstance that pop up, it's never you. It's always everybody else. I said to my mother and her husband years ago, I said, y'all don't find that strange? This person, everything that go on in her life, it's never her. It's always everybody else. I'm a bit confused here. And she ain't the only one. She ain't the only one. There's a whole lot of other people that I came across. Never them. It is never them. It is always you're wrong. You need to apologize and do better. How can we say we love God, we serve Him, but yet we're in a delusional state when we don't see the stuff that we do is wrong, or when somebody comes to point out an error or flaw in your life that has impacted them negatively, it's never you. It is always, it's a misunderstanding. That is not correct. That's not accurate. You can't be talking to me because I definitely, I'm not one that make mistakes and I don't make errors. So, next. I've never seen nothing like it. I don't understand it. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I said, God, there were days literally I would say, God, is something wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? Because I'm not understanding this. Clearly, something's going on with you mentally. It has to be. I've never seen where everything that has ever went on in your life is never you. It is always somebody else. But I'm going to tell you something. When you learn to start looking and studying people's patterns and behaviors, and not that I go around purposely looking to study them, no. You see the apple don't fall far from the tree because the father threw it. The father's thrown it off. And he's definitely a narcissist. So it makes sense. And I'm not walking around here talking about I'm perfect because I'm not. I mess up. There are days I go to God, I told y'all before, and I'm like, Lord, I get an F. But this is back to these relationships. Sometimes we're the reason these people are the way they are because we don't spend time calling them out on their stuff. And it don't matter if they don't like it. So what? Don't talk to me again. But one thing you can never say, I ain't keep it real with you. You can never say I ain't call you out on it. You can never say that because I did. You just chose to reject it. But guess what? You will never be able to get away from that thing because guess what? Me today, somebody else, or 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 other people the next day, or a week from now, or months from now. Yeah. It's true. Being emotionally involved with a narcissistic, ego-driven person can be exhausting and traumatizing. God knows that's the truth. There was a guy that I was dating. You talking about narcissist at his finest? Lord have mercy, help him, Jesus. When I say very egotistic, very full of ego. He's in the military, he's in the Air Force. And he's a Q-dog. So you put those two factors together. And don't get me wrong, it don't mean because you a Q-dog, everybody's arrogant. It doesn't. But he's that typical, I know I'm the stuff. I know I'm. But when I tell you a liar, a narcissist, a whore, red flags. And I'm going to tell you something. The Holy Ghost is so good. This is going back 7 years. Wow. 7 years. He didn't allow me to get too deeply involved in a relationship. And it's something because I couldn't quite get settled with this individual. And I'll never forget, I was in the shower one day. And I said, Lord, I may regret this question to you, but I'm not going to feel okay if I don't ask you. And I said, What's this person's real deal? Reveal the true intent of their heart. Baby. What they say, you have not because you ask not. But basically, when you ask, just make sure you're ready for what you ask for, because he's going to surely give it to you. I mean, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm truly grateful that he revealed the truth to me. It hurt. It was painful. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what I said to the Lord. Excuse me. I don't want to be in pain for long. I said, because apparently people like that, they can do you dirty and then go on with life like nothing never happened. Like they never offended you. They never did you dirty or nothing. So why am I going to spend all this time sulking and all that? I mean, yeah, I'm human. And it does hurt. But I don't want this consuming all of my life. No, no. I said, so Lord, I need you to heal me and heal me quick. Because I need to make room for the one that wants to have me as I want to have him. And thank God for my husband. I thank God for the Lord blessing me. But I'm just saying, as a part of those toxic relationships, these are the things you come across. So I used the relative the first time with the narcissist. Now I use somebody I used to date as a narcissist. So I'm just saying it to you to say, it doesn't just have to be somebody that you were in an intimate relationship with. It can be a friend. It can be a coworker. It can be a supervisor. It can be a neighbor. Listen, you know how they say a bullet don't have no names? Neither do any of these tendencies, these red flags. It doesn't have a name. Doesn't have a neighborhood, a city. It will go wherever. It will go wherever you allow it to enter and not deal with your stuff. And that's why it's so important to get to know people and not just jump right into stuff. Sometimes you find people just jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to and keep coming out with an F. Keep coming out with an F. I'm gonna throw y'all a nugget. I'm gonna throw you something. So I hope you catch it. I used to do the dating site, blackpeoplemeet.com. And anybody who's done the dating site knows how the procedure go. So people will drop a line in your email and let you know they're interested or whatever. So, you respond back and y'all can start dialogue. I will always ask the Lord to reveal the true nature of their heart. Not what they have set up in this profile. Not all these great and wonderful, mighty things. Nah. What's the real deal? Who are they really? I said, I'm asking you, God, because you created them. You know them. Well, like water, drinking water. Bang, 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 bang. He will reveal it every time. What I will say is to not continue the repetitive, dysfunctional cycle of getting into these toxic relationships. I don't care if it's with a man, a woman, or it's just some friends or new colleagues or whatever. Ask the Lord to direct you as to who. And then allow him to show you the tendencies or the bad habits and destruction and dysfunctional behaviors that these people have. That way you don't waste your time. We don't have that much time left on planet Earth. So don't you want your years that you have to be your best years? And not every time you look up, and I'm not saying that you and the good friends that you have may not have differences or have little falling outs, but I'm talking about when you just keep roping yourself with these same crazy throwed off individuals. It doesn't make sense. So I'm done for right now. We still have more to go, but I just figured we talk about it because we're going to talk about it. Because I want us to do better, kings and queens. As I heard on Friday, and it's not that I didn't know, but I like the way Destiny Inspired put it. She said, she doesn't call us queens because it's the trendy thing to say. She calls us queen because we are divinely royal. Our divinity is royal. Royal. Look up that word royal. We are truly royalty. So anything we do outside of that is an offense to God. I'm done because I feel myself get ready to start preaching. And if I start preaching, y'all gonna give me off because I'm not gonna sit up here doing this. You guys, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. Give me some feedback. Matter of fact, give me some suggestions on some things you may want me to talk about. Feel free to email me, soultouched73@gmail.com, baby. Your girl vocal with AJ Reese. Lord willing, next week, next Tuesday. What they say, be here, be square. God bless you, love you, stay safe.